What's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a review of the new Rj Payne EP entitled The Payne Tape. Let's get to it. Prolific Philly rapper Rj Payne is back to kick off 2021 with this Lost Tapes EP entitled The Payne Tape. Now, he was originally slated to drop Beautiful Pain 3, but due to some technical difficulties, he had to put that on hold. Although, in the meantime, Rj Payne wanted to tide his fans over, so he released this 5-song EP. It's a quick listen at only 17 and a half minutes. A couple of these tracks are at least 6 years old, specifically Recipe for Winners and Think About It. But I do want to say before I forget that Rj Payne had a very impressive 2020 from feature verses to his albums and projects. He was on one for sure. And with the Payne Tape, we are getting more of the thoughtful, contemplative, and introspective Rj Payne that we began to see a lot more of last year, namely on the Beautiful Pain releases. I want to say with this project that he's giving you mature, mellow, motivational music. It's a short little tape that you can ride out to, kind of zone out and just meditate on the game that he is kicking. But with that being said, let me go ahead and give y'all this track by track breakdown. The first song, Recipe for Winners, is a laid back, hustling anthem. On top of some nocturnal keys, Rj Payne describes what it takes to actually live out your best dreams. And he lets you in on a little secret on how to achieve this success, and that's simply by putting in the work. I know, sounds very Gary Vee like. There are no cutting corners, and the process isn't very glamorous, but it's the only way. As Rj Payne states, if you don't put in the work, you will not eat. Bottom line, nothing comes to a dreamer besides sleep. But yeah, this was a cool opening song. It was one of his older records, but fortunately, it didn't have a really outdated sound musically. Track 2 is Million Dollar Wishes. Now, Rj Payne's mentality is money orientated over a smooth but melancholy beat. He talks about his determination and dedication to get after it. He states, making something out of nothing is what I'm best at. Being broke is a choice. I won't accept that. It ain't nobody tell you, let me be first. No matter what your situation in, it can be reversed. So he's lacing you with some positive and motivational advice. At the end of the day, this is that hustle and motivate music, of course, with a grown man's perspective. The following song, Hate on Me, contains another smooth and mellow funk instrumental. On here, Rj Payne admits to being the source of inspiration for his haters. He states, if you need some motivation, I deliver that. This that cinematic flow, I call it Miramax. The game cold, I'm about to warm it up. I lit a match. I thought this was a cool track, although sonically it did sound a little similar to the second song. On Lonely, Rj Payne talks about feeling like an outsider a lot of times. The sample here is Journey's 1983 classic, Who's Crying Now. It's definitely a sick sample to use, and it really fits with Rj Payne's pensive lyricism. This sped up sample production was giving me some early Rockefeller vibes. It's probably the most striking track on the project in my opinion. Real life, it seemed phony, but it's not. I man up on some J shit and show you what I got. Somebody tell me where the love, like Jigga said. Fuck it, I don't need it now. I'm thinking with my bigger head. Then this brings us to the closing song, Think About It, which is at least 6 years old. On here, Rj Payne speaks on some issues affecting the black community over this somber piano beat. Now, this track appears to have been inspired by the events following Mike Brown's death and the protests in Ferguson, Missouri. He's basically advocating for more personal responsibility and also for the youth to stop the shootings. I understand this was recorded a few years back, but I do wonder if he still shares these same views today. And it's not my job as a white person to say whether he's right or wrong about this specific matter, but I do know that his message doesn't exactly jive with the language from the Black Lives Matter movement. So I'm sure there will be some mixed opinions regarding his stance here. The only thing I will say is that I personally feel that the police must be held accountable, and a lot of the problems facing the black community are the direct result of the generational trauma incurred from slavery, as well as the effects of systemic white supremacy, which has pervaded all levels of the economic, political, and criminal justice system. But on a lighter note, I do really dig the Rakim Think About It vocal sample. I thought that was a nice addition to the track. Overall, I thought this was a very solid EP. I would give it a rating of a strong 3.5 mics. Now, I have not heard all of RJ Payne's work, so these songs might have all been really old, but this was my first time hearing them either way. I can really respect the more mature and thoughtful direction in which RJ Payne has taken his music in the last year or so. He hasn't been barring us to death as of late. Rather, he seems more focused on making really thought-provoking songs and conceptual records that show his emotional depth. I will definitely be looking forward to hearing Beautiful Payne 3 when it drops. My favorite tracks include Recipe for Winners, Million Dollar Wishes, and Lonely. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. RJ Payne, the Payne Tape, 1.